So we begin now to assemble our screens in PowerPoint and start to make them interactive. I've got my PSD files here and my three output screens as PNGs. I am now going to open up PowerPoint, and I'm just going to open a blank presentation. And once I do this, I'm going to get into this page, and what I want to do is I want to go to the tab that says Design, and I want to set my slide size. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to go to Custom. Now in Custom, we see a default of widescreen. We see these different sizes. None of them look like anything that we put together. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit Custom, and we know that our design was 1920 space, and then we're going to put in PX for pixels, and then we're going to do the same thing over here, 1080 PX for pixels. And once we do that, we see that we get the slide size in inches. We can click OK, and now we have a slide size that's going to match what we created in Photoshop. Now keep in mind, PowerPoint is going to be at a higher resolution, so when we bring these screens in, we're going to actually make them 75%. So now that we have our PowerPoint presentation, we're just going to get rid of this title box and this subtitle box, and we're going to be able to add in anything that we want later on top of our screens by using the same fonts or different fonts and lay them right over. So now that I have this, I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Pictures. I'm going to navigate out to where I have my folder with my designs. So I go out to the desktop, I have my screens, I'm going to double click, here they are. I'm going to bring in my main screen, hit Insert, and now you'll see the screen comes in. What I'm going to be able to do here is change the size of the image, and if you look in PowerPoint, you've got all of these options here. We're going to go over to the right, and if we click on this little drop down, we get a size and position. This is going to be formatting the picture. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to go in and we want to format this. So if we scale this up, we can see that we can make it fit perfectly, and when we do that, we get to 75%. So we're actually not at 100% of what we had, because PowerPoint is a little higher resolution, but we're perfect. It looks nice and sharp. If we zoom in, we can see that the text is clear, and our screens look good at 100%. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a new slide, and we can do that by just right-clicking and hitting New Slide. And we're going to be doing the same thing here. I'm just going to delete and delete. And now we're going to just drop in, Insert, Picture. Going to go to the Fox, insert that in. When we go to the Format Picture box, we're going to go to the Size area, and we know just by memory that's 75 and 75, and now this fits in here nicely. We're going to repeat this step again, and new slide, delete and delete, insert, and now we insert our third slide, and we can have that in here. So now that we have the slide set up, we're going to start slicing this. If we go on to the first screen, we're going to see that we have our menu items, and we also have different buttons for social down here. What we're going to do is we're going to add slices to the home and the story page, and we are going to link them up to the next slides, which then will be linked to each other. So we're going to have a linear navigation here. We're going to go in, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Insert menu, and we're going to go to Shapes. Now, you can pretty much use any shape, but I'm going to use these action buttons down at the bottom. And if you go all the way down to the bottom, the one to the right is a custom. And when we click on that, it's going to allow us to create a hotspot. Now, I'm going to put a link on the home page, and it's just going to make it easier when I copy and paste everything. But I'm going to drag a box, and I'm going to go about halfway over here. Give it a little room. And now I'm going to be able to link to a page. And this action setting comes up. I click hyperlink, and I know that we're going to the first slide, so this will automatically go there. I'm there now, so nothing will happen. I'm going to click OK, and this box is going to end up showing up. So what I want to do is I'm going to just take the transparency, and I'm going to put it down to about 50%. And I'm doing this now just to see these boxes. At the very end, before I output, I'm going to drop the transparency down to 0. And then I'm going to be able to output this, and those boxes are going to be hidden hotspots that are going to allow interactivity. So it allows you to make all your screens interactive, but you can use the design from Photoshop that you created. So I've created this, and I've linked it. Now I can do a couple things. I can draw another box, or I can simply copy and then paste and make another hotspot. And now I'm going to do that, and then I simply right click, and I'm going to edit the hyperlink. And when I do that, now I'm not going to go to the first slide, but I'm going to go to the next slide. And I'm going to click OK. Now we're not going to link up the contact page here because this is just a demonstration. You can do that on your own and make new slides. But we're just showing the interactivity here. So once I do this, I can grab these two. I can copy them, go to my next slide, right click, and paste. And when I do that, they're going to pop nicely into the same spot. Now, the first link I don't have to change. The second link, I can click off, and I can edit the hyperlink so that it goes to the next slide, or I can make it go to the previous slide. So right now, I'm just going to leave it as next slide, or I can make it go to a different destination. So right now, it's just going to go to the next story. We click OK. And now, I'm going to take another one. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to copy it and paste it just to get the box. And I'm going to go over the buffalo icon, this button at the bottom. And I can go over here. And now I'm going to right click. I'm going to edit the hyperlink. And I'm going to go to slide. So what this is going to allow me to do is make this nonlinear and go to any slide I want. So I'm going to go to the third slide, even though it's the next slide. If we had different icons at the bottom, we could go to the individual icons for the different animals by clicking on the hyperlink to the slide. So I'm going to go right here to the buffalo, click OK, click OK again, and now I can take 1, 2, 3, right click and copy, and now I go into the Buffalo page and I paste, and they go in pretty much the same. This graphic was a little bit over, so I'm going to just move this. I could fix that in my Photoshop screen and bring it back in if I wanted to. And now I'm going to be able to go in and on story, I'm going to edit the hyperlink because I'm not going to the next slide. I'm going to slide, and I want to go to the first story slide. And then we can edit the hyperlink again, and we are going to go to slide, and we want to go to the second slide. Now we know that, or the Fox slide, we know that this first link is going to automatically take us to the first slide, so we never had to change that. Now we can do the same thing with our social media. So we've made a new hotspot for our social. We're going to demonstrate how to use the YouTube embed, not embed, but play. So I'm going to drop this button right here, and I'm on the Buffalo page. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow this to go to another page with the video on it. So when we get to this Buffalo page, it's kind of an entry page, and then when you click on the YouTube button, it'll go to another screen. So I'm going to make that screen now simply by just duplicating this slide. So we've got the same slide here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go back to slide 3. We're going to click, and we're going to manipulate the hyperlink, and what we're going to do is we're just going to go to the next slide, which is going to be the video slide, and we're going to click OK. Now when we come over to the video slide, we're actually going to keep this, and we can hyperlink it, and we can just do none so that it doesn't go anywhere, because this is the video slide. And now what we're going to do on this slide is we're going to be able to go over here, and we're going to be able to lay the video right on top of this page. So what we can do is we can put a black box on here, or we can do an overlay to lighten this, or we can just add this in. So we're going to go to Insert, and just to show you how we might do an overlay, we would just go down to a shape, and we would click on a shape, and now we can drag that shape over just to kind of create a letterbox. Now we want that to be transparent. Now we're not going to make a hotspot out of this. We're just going to use this as a solid box. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to change the color now to black. We want no line, and we're going to change the fill color to black, as I said, and we're going to be able to pull this up, and we can drag this all the way across, or bring it right up to the logo, out to the end. And now we're going to go to Insert, Video, and we're going to go to Online Video. Now I've already gone in and searched up a video in YouTube, so I'm going to hit Share. I'm going to copy this, which is the share copy. I'm going to lower this down, minimize it, and then I'm going to paste that in right here. And it gives me the thumbnail. I'm going to hit insert. And now I'm actually going to have that video that I can lay in. And I can put it right into my letterbox here. So it's nice and clean. And now I'm going to save. And now we can preview the entire document. We're going to go up to the first screen. And remember, we're going to, when we're all done, we're going to take these buttons and we're going to set them to 0 transparency. So when we do that, or excuse me, 100% transparency. When we do that, they're going to be hidden buttons and we won't see them. For now, we're just using them to set up our design. So if we go into the Buffalo, we just want to grab this button for the video. Actually, we're going to leave it here. We're going to go, we'll set up a new video in here later. But we'll go to this page, and now we're going to just preview this. Click on slideshow. And here's our slideshow. We've got our home, our story. So we're just checking these to see if they work. So we go to story, that looks like it works. And if we click back home, that works. We're going to go here and just click on the buffalo. And now if we wanted to watch the video of the buffalo, we click it. And now we should be able to run the video right here in the PowerPoint. So this is how we can go about creating this interactive piece. We can add in other elements, but this shows you the beginnings of interactivity from creating slides in Photoshop. And obviously the next step, we would go out and we would just click on these and we would pull our transparency to 100, and we would do that on the remaining buttons so that they're invisible when we output this as a slideshow. And then finally, when we do click on and bring our transparency to 100, we want to make sure that line is set to no line, and then those won't show up. So if we do it here, transparency 100, and then we want to click on no line. This might be closed up, so you open it up, no line, and now we have a clean page with visible hotspots. So as you can see, hotspots are all working even though the boxes aren't there.